In a 14th century English royal kitchen, a heron turns over the fire, its long legs tucked, its body wrapped in bacon, its skin rubbed with ginger. To us, it sounds like a dare. To a king, it was dinner. Strange food is not new. It is older than forks, menus, and viral challenges. But the weirdest part is that most of these foods were not eaten because people were reckless. They usually made perfect sense at the time. So here is the rule for this journey. We are not here to laugh at the past. We are here to ask what a meal was doing on the table. Was it showing wealth, stretching scraps, surviving winter, impressing guests who had seen everything? Because bizarre food is rarely random. It is geography, class, preservation, hunger, and pride, cooked until it looks strange to someone else. And the best place to start is with an empire so rich it turned a sleepy little rodent into a luxury appetizer. In ancient Rome, wealthy diners did not just eat dormice, they engineered them. The animals were kept in clay jars called gleraria, with air holes, narrow ledges, and darkness. Less movement meant more fat. More fat meant a better appetizer. When they were plump, cooks stuffed them with minced pork, nuts, pepper, and herbs, then roasted them and finished them with honey. Tiny, sweet, rich, and strange. But the point was not hunger, it was display. A dish that took special equipment, extra labor, and a rare little animal told every guest one thing: this household had money to burn. But if Rome made tiny mammals fancy, medieval royalty took the same idea and applied it to almost anything that flew, swam, or waddled. By 1390, England had a royal cookbook called The Form of Cury, and its menu reads like someone dared the kitchen to cook the entire coastline and sky. Cranes, porpoises, whales, seals, herons. A roasted heron might arrive whole, wrapped with bacon, sharpened with spices, and carved in front of people who knew exactly what it meant. You did not serve that because it was convenient. You served it because most people could not get one. A king's table turned access into theatre. Then, centuries later, weird food moved from royal halls into pretty little dessert molds. In a Victorian kitchen, the elegant jelly wobbling in a glass mold might begin inside a fish. Cooks used isinglass, a clear, gelatin-like substance made from the dried swim bladders of sturgeon. Boil it with water, sugar, lemon juice, and fruit. Then strain it, cool it, and suddenly the fishy origin disappears into a delicate dessert. That was the trick. Before modern gelatin became cheap and reliable, kitchens needed anything that could thicken, clarify, or preserve. Beauty came from problem solving. And once you realize weird ingredients often solved real kitchen problems, even whale skin starts to make sense. In the Arctic, whale skin was not a dare, it was dinner. Muktuk is whale skin with a layer of blubber, cut into dark, chewy strips. It can be eaten fresh, salted, fried, or pickled. To an outsider, that sounds shocking. To communities living where crops could not reliably grow, it was practical. The ocean was the pantry. Whale provided fat for energy, protein for strength, and crucially, vitamin C in a place where fruit was scarce. Waste was not just rude, it could be dangerous. But not every bizarre food came from extreme cold. Some came from extreme poverty and the need to fake flavor from almost nothing. In American kitchens, vinegar pie did a clever impersonation. When lemons were too expensive, a splash of apple cider vinegar gave custard that sharp, bright bite people missed. Sugar, eggs, butter, flour, vinegar. It was not luxury, it was a trick that worked. Then Britain gave us the toast sandwich. In 1861, a cookbook described a thin slice of seasoned toast placed between two slices of bread. Bread, toast, bread. Cheap, filling, almost absurdly plain. But that was the point. These dishes turned scarcity into structure. They made emptiness feel planned. Then the 20th century arrived and proved that industrial convenience could make food just as strange as poverty ever did. By the 1950s, the future arrived in a ring mold. American magazines sold housewives a new kind of magic. Open a packet, add canned vegetables, tuna, shrimp, shredded cabbage, even mayonnaise. Pour it into gelatin and wait. Dinner came out glossy, colorful, and obedient. This was not random madness. Refrigerators, boxed powders, and canned food promised control. Marketing turned convenience into creativity and wobble into elegance. But the same progress that made cooking easier also gave us tomato gelatin with seafood floating inside it. So if bizarre food can come from royalty, survival, poverty, and advertising, maybe the real question is not what people ate, but who gets to call it weird. That is the trick. A food becomes bizarre when you remove the need that created it. Take away famine, and preserved organs look grotesque. Take away empire, and perfumed whale secretions look insane. Take away refrigeration, trade routes, religion, class, and childhood memory, and almost any meal can start to wobble. A future museum might display energy drinks, neon cereal, spray cheese, and lab-grown nuggets with the same raised eyebrow we give medieval banquets. Food is never just food. It is a time capsule you can chew. Which brings us back to that uncomfortable question from the beginning. So what will future people roast us for? Probably the same thing we roast the past for. Forgetting the reason. Status gave us dormice and heron. Preservation gave us fish bladder jelly. Environment gave us muktok. Scarcity gave us vinegar pie. Convenience gave us gelatin salad. Food is survival, status, comfort, scarcity, and culture on a plate. Comment which old food you would try and which modern food deserves future mockery. Thanks for watching.